Good morning. This is call number 2021-80958 in the interest of Robert, Ryan, and Ricky Rayon. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the children.
My name is Raquel Lynn Cuellar, and I am their mother.
All right, representing the State of Texas Attorney General's Office.
Andrea Eoff.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent is Robert Clayton Rayon. Mr. Rayon was personally served at 8101 FM 969 in Austin, Travis County, Texas at 11 a.m. on March 22nd, 2022. Appears he's not filed an answer, made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Eoff?
That's correct, Your Honor.
We'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'd like to call Raquel Cuellar.
Okay.
Ms. Cuellar, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Will you please state your full name for the record?
My name is Raquel Lynn Cuellar.
And will you state the names and ages of your children?
Yes, ma'am. Robert Clayton Rayon Jr., 6 years old. Ryan Carmelo Rayon, 5 years old. Ricky Kane Rayon, 2 years old.
Thank you. And you are currently married to Mr. Rayon, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Rayon signed acknowledgments of paternity for Robert and Ryan when they were born. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then Ricky was born while you guys were married, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like for the court to establish Mr. Rayon as the legal father for all three of your boys today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And Mr. Rayon is currently in prison. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And from what I understand, he's in prison for attacking a woman with a hatchet, and he's serving a sentence for assault, family violence until March of 2028. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you and Mr. Rayon were together, you experienced quite a bit of violence at his hand as well. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
And did he have a history of beating you and punching you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he ever choke you or attempt to strangle you while you guys were fighting?
Not that I recall, no, ma'am.
You don't recall him ever choking you? Did he ever pull a gun on you?
Yes, ma'am.
And has he ever threatened your life?
Yes, ma'am.
And did he once hold you hostage in the car with the children and then threaten to kill you and bury you in Channel View in front of your kids?
Yes, ma'am.
And he, at one point in time, kidnapped your children. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it true that when he did that, he kept your children away from you for 2 to 3 months and you had to enlist the help of the Baytown Police Department to find them?
Yes, ma'am.
And when he was on the run with your children, was he taking care of them or maintaining them in a safe and stable environment?
No, ma'am.
Do you know what he was doing with the kids whenever he had them?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell the court a little bit about that?
Yes, ma'am. When Robert left with the children, he had no stability for them. He was going from hotel to hotel, not having a stable roof over their head. He did contact his mother that he did not have any food and that they've been sleeping in parks in the vehicle with the children. The Baytown Police Department has a report of that. Also, he had been like shoplifting with the kids, trying to get them food, just having the kids all over. They've been to Dallas. They've been in different areas. because he was running with the children. And, I was looking for them because I was worried. I knew that they were with their father, but and his state of mind wasn't there. And I was afraid that something would happen to my children during that time.
Okay.
I would reach
Thank you,
out.
Ms. Cuellar. Thank you.
Okay,
Would it be fair? You're okay. Would it be fair to say that if he has access to your children, they would be in danger?
Absolutely, yes.
And do you believe that it's in your children's best interest if you are appointed as their sole managing conservator with no geographic restriction and that he not be given any visitation?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you're currently providing Medicaid for your children, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And you understand that Mr. Rayon is in prison and will be for years at this point in time, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So because he has no income, you understand that we have to ask the court to order that he pays $0 a month in child support beginning November 1st, 2022, and $0 a month in medical support beginning November 1st, 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And before Mr. Rayon went to prison, he was kind of in and out of the house. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he did not give you any money or try to support the kids during that time period. Is that right?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to make a judgment against him for some retroactive support in the amount of $3,773 for the time period from June 25th, 2019 to April 9th, 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to order that be paid at $0 right now due to his incarceration?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's true that he has recently sent you a letter from prison threatening to kill you and your boyfriend. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that you will be at risk of harassment or abuse if he knows your address and phone number and if it's printed in this order?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to make a finding of non-disclosure and keep that information confidential today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And do you believe that if the court were to grant an order that contains the terms that we just talked about, it would be in your children's best interest?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I have no further questions and pass this witness, Your Honor.
All right, the court will approve the order submitted. You're excused now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Ms. Sharma, are you doing the Quinones matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning.
Morning. All parties, please unmute yourself.
Ms. Quinones, please turn your camera on and unmute yourself.
All right, this is cause number 2021-82674 in the interest of Carlos Quinones. Please raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Kaylee Quinones, and I'm the custodial parent.
All right, and representing the state of Texas Attorney General's office.
Kavita Sharma, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. Court note that the non-custodial parent is Henry Morales. He was personally served on June 24th, 2022 at 7:25 p.m. And he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct, Ms. Sharma?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, we'll proceed by default. Ms. Quinones, you're gonna have to sort of settle down somewhere, okay? Have a seat. All right, go ahead, Ms. Sharma.
Yes, Judge. I would like to call the mother, Callie Quinones.
Okay.
Ms. Quinones, how old is your son, Carlo?
He's 9.
And who is Carlos's father?
Henry Morales.
And is there a possibility any other person could be the father of Carlo?
No.
Are you asking the court to name Henry Morales III as the biological father of your son?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to appoint you and Mr. Morales as joint conservators of the child?
Yes.
And does your son live with you?
Yes.
And you're asking the court to allow you to maintain the child's primary residence in Harris and contiguous counties?
Yes.
And you've made efforts to contact Mr. Morales in regards to your son in the past, is that correct?
Yes.
Have those efforts that you've made to contact him been successful?
No.
When was the last time Mr. Morales saw your child?
I think it was about 6 months, so it's been some time.
And because of the lack of relationship with the child, are you asking the court to establish some modified visits initially before defaulting to the standard every other weekend?
Yes.
And would you like 5 of those periods to be supervised initially?
Yes.
And where would you like pickup and drop off to be for these visits?
At my house.
And how is your child covered under health insurance?
He has Medicaid.
And do you intend to keep that insurance for your child?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to order that Mr. Morales reimburse that at $37 a month, beginning November 1?
Yes.
And do you know if Mr. Morales has any other children?
Yes. He has 2 other children.
And are those children under 18 as far as you know?
Yes.
Are you asking the court to set current child support at $177 a month beginning November 1?
Yes.
And you understand this is based on the minimum wage because we don't have any information of where Mr. Morales is currently employed.
Yes, it's fine.
And since your child has been born, Mr. Morales has not spent time with your child, but has he provided any financial support towards clothing or school or any other expenses for the child?
No.
Are you asking the court to order retroactive child support from December 21st, 2017 until today in the amount of $12,969?
Yes.
And are you asking the court to order Mr. Morales pay that at $115 a month beginning November 1?
Yes.
And if court costs are billed, should Mr. Morales be ordered to pay those?
Yes.
And have you reviewed and signed this order today?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Quinones, I have no further questions for you. Judge, I pass this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order as submitted. Thank you. All parties are excused.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.